Ryan.
Zack.
Welcome to the Rambles, everybody. Welcome to a weird edition of the Rambles. They're only getting weirder as we go along. You'll notice that David is not here. Who are you?
I am the off-site correspondent that is now on-site, actually. So here I am. I'm Ryan. We're going to talk about some stuff.
We put David in the news desk. We were like, get off the camera. No,
He's over there.
David will be shortly. After this little segment, we're going to have a little interview with David about his trip to Germany. He's fine. Ooh. He's fine. It's weird that you keep asking why he's not on the show. He's fine. He's fine.
I think so.
Don't worry about it. Like I said, he's definitely not a Muppet.
I don't think you can hear him.
Definitely not working on that curse. No, he can't hear it.
No.
He's
too far away.
Not through the trunk of the car.
No.
All right, so we've got some events at Gigabytes coming up this week. We've got some new products, just a couple of them. And we've got a whole bunch of news and some words that we're going to mispronounce really badly, probably. So check out the first event we have. Go get your swamp meat. That's right. Tomorrow. There's the camera. Yep, tomorrow, there's 3 monitors now for this show, so it's like just point to any directional one. Yeah, this one over there. This one there. This one there. There's one under here.
Oh, it's down here?
Yeah,
I thought it was over there.
The floor monitor. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
We got the ceiling monitor as well.
It's like the dentist. Like, you
My dentist doesn't do that.
No?
No. I have to just
sad.
stare at the tile. And I'm like, at least put like an iPad or something up there so I can watch Bluey or something.
An iPad would be a little depressing because it's like the tiny little screen. It's like you just have to like squint.
They just put
the dentist.
They put an iPhone just on Velcro on the top, and it's like, oh, this is really great.
And it like
what am I watching?
Falls and dangles a little bit, so it's like hanging and you can't even see it anymore.
The iPod of Damocles.
Yep.
I don't like that. The swap meet is tomorrow. You've missed your chance on pre-registering because this is coming out the day before, but you can still show up and get a lot of stuff.
Yep.
Really cool, weird things we said in the last show. Your gray plastic pile can be contributed to or contributed into a different gray plastic pile if you bring it and trade it in for something.
Share your plastic.
Yeah, share your plastic. And it doesn't count as a pile of shame if you trade it and it's within, 3 months, I think? Yeah. Yeah. If it's within 3 months, it's a pile of potential.
Pile of potential. No,
yeah.
That's tag that.
That's what they had on my high school counselor thing where they were like, what can you be?
Oh,
your guidance test. It's a pile of potential.
He's almost there.
Yeah. You could shape him. He's a primordial ooze of stuff.
Ooze.
You know what's next?
Oh?
Is that? It's Marvel Champions.
Marvel Champions with the Mutant Genesis.
Yeah. Oh, God, you're going to try to read my writing. This is the best part of the show.
It was Mutant Genesis, and then what was the other part? There was some part of... There was a whole title.
There was a whole title. I've truncated it, and I wrote it poorly. But it's October 19th. You can get tickets now online at gigabytesonline.com. If I was going to edit this is where the title would be.
Oh.
It's an organized play kit thing, and every player is going to get a promo X-Men dial or 2 packs of random cards, and they have some sort of special new cards in there as well.
Oh, new cards.
So X-Men dials or cards. I'm going to pretend like I know what either of those are. They both are probably exciting.
Oh, absolutely.
If you know what
Super
they are.
knowledgeable on Marvel Champions.
I know a lot about Marvel, but I've only played Champions once, and it was 4 years ago, I think.
4 years. Okay.
That was a long time ago.
I've heard of it.
Okay, there it is. That's it. We're the professionals of this whole thing. And then I'm excited for this next part.
Okay.
So there's a paint and take on October... I wrote 200 thousandths. I think that's supposed to be 20th. October 20th is a paint and take. So this is pretty cool. You go online, you get your ticket, you pick out the model you want to paint. You hold on the take part though, because you're going to come into the store and everybody's going to paint them together. So there'll be people there that can kind of help you if you're new to stuff. You can pick up these are all Dungeons and Dragons official monsters, so you can get some cool stuff for your campaign.
Right.
You can learn some new tactics or something. Maybe I'm going to commit because I love committing to things on camera.
Okay.
Maybe one of us will be there and we'll have a camera and we'll try about streaming it or something.
Okay.
Or you can see how badly we paint models. I'm speaking for myself.
Oh yeah. No, mine are rough too.
Yeah. Mine are okay. I like to do a model that looks good from like the distance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then you pick it up and you're like, I didn't paint anything under that guy.
No.
Who does that anyway?
Full of gray.
Yeah, just base coat black.
Oh yeah.
It's all just shadows. So
Stealthy.
It's $5 to $10 depending on the model you pick. Okay. And we have a list of models that I wrote down. Full disclosure, I don't know how to pronounce half of these. So here we go. You want to trade off on these?
We can if you. Yep.
It's the middle section there.
Yep.
All right. So do I go first then? Or do you want me to go second so I end up with that
okay. So this one, I think I might know how to pronounce this one actually.
I know the first word.
Oh, that's good.
That's all.
At least it should be maybe in your vocabulary.
Yeah.
Maybe that shouldn't.
Well, who knows? I used to work in the medical industry.
All right.
So the first one's a Drider, which is the spider person, half spider, half person, all party. Go ahead for that next one.
Second one is a Nikoloth, which I am not familiar with, but it sounds cosmic horror-y.
He fights the Daekaloth.
Oh,
I believe.
okay.
That's the Nikoloth. I don't know.
Like,
The third one is a Yuan-Ti Abomination. I know that one because it was in my friend's game from years ago. That's a snake guy, but like a real big snake guy who's actually just mostly snake. They kind of just drop the guy part. They just become like snake with arms.
Okay.
Which is horrifying, but also not how evolution works for them. But you know what? It's an abomination. That's why. That's why. They can't teach you about that in Florida schools. All right, do you want to go for the next one?
I suppose it is an enlarged Duergar, I think is how you pronounce this one. I believe it's the dwarves that live in the Underdark. I believe it's them. So I'm guessing it's just a big one.
Yeah, it's just a big version of that guy.
He's an ogre size, maybe. I don't know. He's probably large.
He's been doing a lot of steroids. Oh. He's just real big. He's real mean, yeah. And the last one is a Yeti Hound, which is what if a Yeti was also a dog?
Okay, that sounds cool.
Yeah, that one's okay. Or is it a Yeti that... Does the hound just belongs to a Yeti? It's just a normal hound?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
maybe it's just his hound.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's just a hound, but it's the Yetis. Yeah.
I guess he would have like what a basset. What kind of dog would a Yeti have? This is your question for the. It's down there.
Saint Bernard. That's what I would say. Like with a big fluffy.
Yeah, I kind of imagine with the barrel of alcohol around, so the Yeti can like knock back a keg and.
I think Yetis drink.
Yeah,
I think so. 100%.
That's why they have all the coolers.
Yeah.
To put their drinks in.
What do you think they drink?
Oh, I was going to say sponsor us.
Coolers. Oh, yeah, hey. Yeah, maybe.
What do they drink? Milwaukee's Best.
Okay.
They don't have very good taste. But you can have great taste by going to Gigabytes and checking out all the craft beer selections that they have while you play games.
Boom.
We've never mentioned the fact that they have a huge cabinet of craft beers. And if that's your stuff, there's a lot of it in there. And despite the fact that this sounds like we have those on set before the show, we're Stotally Tober when we do this.
Tober.
All right, and that's all.
It's October.
It is October. That's why I wear my spooky shirt. See, I like to do that because then the mic just goes while I move around a little bit. Yeah, you can tell it's October because the weather outside is slightly less terrible than it has been, unless you're in Florida. In which case, please stay safe somehow. Leave. Please. Just leave Florida for a bit. It seems like that's gonna come up here. Go to Georgia. We got space. Half of Georgia is not occupied. There's nobody there. You can just do whatever.
I'd say half. Yeah.
I think it's actually like population-wise, it's like more than half of Georgia. It's just
really?
empty.
Oh, wow. I mean, it's green.
It's like 3 cities and a bunch of little smatterings, and then the drive from Atlanta to Florida.
Anywhere else down below, yeah.
You see 5 cars and that one forest that has screaming trees in it because of the haunting ghosts. It's a real thing. Look it up. It's a real thing. There's a forest where the trees scream because of how the wind works for them. Speaking of screaming trees.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about products, and then we can do hot, fresh news?
Products. So for things new at Gigabytes, over here we have Ticket to Ride, little deluxe train sets. So I was told that these might actually have names, but to me they are blue, milk, yellow, and then red. I think the yellow one is like some building kind of supplies. They have like little cranes on the back, I think.
Yeah, red is just your standard. It's like a trolley car almost. Okay. That's just your standard like trolley car, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's the same with the blue over here.
It's blue.
Yeah.
Blue is pretty much the same. Yeah, yeah. Yellow. Oh, yellow's got construction equipment on there. Yeah. And little houses and things. You can drive your trains. I guess that's the scoring mechanism. Full disclosure, I played Ticket to Ride 3 years ago, 4 years, maybe even pre-COVID actually. So I don't remember a lot about this game.
I think for me it was during COVID. Like we were just like huddled up in the apartment.
That's not what.
Ticket to Ride. Yeah, no.
I was like, that's not how you were supposed to do COVID.
We were already stuck in there, and we had Ticket to Ride, and it was like, oh, we'll finally play this.
We had COVID, and we were like, well, what if we made a game where we have to breathe on each other?
That's the game. Yeah.
Yeah, it works.
Ticket to Ride, Breathe.
And that's the milk one, right?
This is milk. Yeah.
Ticket to Ride, infectious disease version. There's the hazmat car. Transporting chemicals. If your lane gets blocked off, you tip it over, and then they have to evacuate everyone around there.
Oops.
It's a real dark version of Ticket to Ride. And speaking of dark versions, guys, get ready. There's a sphere in space, and it's messed up because we're talking about Mass Effect.
Okay.
It's like every good science fiction fantasy thing is like there's a sphere in space, and it's got demons in it. So
it's always demons.
Yeah, it's always space demons.
It's never like cute and cuddly little creatures.
Yeah, it's tribbles.
Oh, okay.
That'd be like
That's fair.
Yeah, it's not. But then usually when it is, it's like the Flarkins in Marvel where they end up being like they can eat you and stuff like that. So
yeah,
we never get invaded by something that's just here to chill unless it's already here.
Oh, that's a good point.
House cats immediately around the world are like, he's onto us. I don't know, they're filing their nails.
Yeah.
with a nail
Preparing.
file. Brian, you know what Mass Effect is?
Mass Effect. I've heard of it.
Yeah.
No, I've played. I've played through all three.
I'm pretty excited about this. Yeah, we're trying
Andromeda.
to figure out.
I forgot about Andromeda.
Oh yeah,
I forgot about Andromeda. Yeah, that was a game.
Everybody forgot about it.
I mean, I had fun with it.
I
thought driving around very briefly was cool.
It was okay. I think the problem with Andromeda, we're going to talk about this in a second, but you didn't come here for that. The problem with Andromeda was that it gave you like a story that was all right, but it gave you a story that was all right after the Commander Shepard trilogy, which was like,
that's true.
How do you follow that in terms of you've saved the galaxy, you've fought the Reapers, you've done these huge things, you built these connections with these party members, you cried when Moradin died, all that stuff happened, and then they're like, but what if over here some other stuff was happening? And
it's over there.
Could be kind of spooky. Yeah, it was all right.
It was okay. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I don't think they make it another one. I don't think they're going to make another one. I think that there's been rumors of it, and of course we're going to be proven wrong.
Another Andromeda?
Like another Mass Effect game. Because they did the re-release of the original trilogy, and I think that's kind of like, we got it right the first time. You knew what you came here for. You came here for the Mass Effect, the board game, so you can have an expansion experience, but we've decided that this actually takes place like not even halfway through the first game, most likely.
It's in a weird spot.
Yeah, the timelines.
Because you mentioned Liara, right?
Yes.
Has the broker. You mentioned a specific thing happening here that was in a weird timelining.
Your party includes, let's go through the party and who it includes. You have Shepard, and they have male and FemShep.
Yeah,
but they put the best one in the front, obviously. FemShep is the canon shep. And then they have Liara, Tali, Rex, and Garrus. So it's kind of strange because if you play, I guess spoilers for like a 20-year-old PlayStation 3 game or whatever it was. PlayStation 2, God, how old is that game? It's an old game.
Was it on 2?
It was on X. I think I played it on Xbox. 360.
Really?
I played the first one.
I thought it was 360.
Yeah. Well, anyway. So in this game, you've got Rex, which early on in the game you can decide to not have Rex if you want.
That is an option.
That's basically an option. You can go Space Racist Ashley over Rex. And it also has Liara, but she has an ability on her card that is the Shadow Broker ability, which I think happens in the end of 2 into 3 or in the beginning of 3, if I'm remembering correctly.
I don't remember.
So I'm not sure when this takes place. All I know is it has 2 things that are awesome, and that it is A, Mass Effect miniatures, which is kind of cool, and B, you can play with them in a Mass Effect board game, which is also cool. Those are the 2 cool things.
It's Mass Effect and miniatures, and you had us at Mass Effect, so.
Yeah, and it's a campaign-based game, too, for 1 to 4 players. So you could play it, I guess if you were like, I like the video game, but what if I had to do more work to have the game work? You could play the single-player version. But what you're going to do is you're going to get a couple of your friends, and you're going to build a squad. And then you're going to go, and it has multiple missions. What did we say? It was 45 to 90 minutes per mission, and there's 3 to 5 chapters per story. So it's a cool little narrative. It's like your oath sworn in like those big boxes like that, but you know what you can do with this that you can't do with that.
What's that?
Well, one of them you can calibrations as much as you want to with Garrus in there. That's for book talk. And for 2, you can pick it up like this, and it fits on your shelf. It doesn't weigh 100,000 pounds like those games do.
That's true.
I think we definitely need to play through this some. I'm really excited. It comes with 15 tracking cubes.
We like cubes.
I love cubes. I'm down for that. That's what I was hoping for, was tracking cubes. Throw all the rest of the stuff away. So maybe we'll do some, oh, that's real glary. Maybe we'll do some gameplay. Look, I just slowly slide it off into the audio equipment. That sounds great. There it is. We'll play some games. We'll play this game maybe, and we'll you can watch us struggle through it and probably make it entirely lore inaccurate.
Oh, of course.
Turns out we can't actually defeat the Reapers because we've all died during this mission.
Absolutely not. No. Yeah.
That was Mass Effect 1. Was so much fun when you would be next to like a barrel that would explode. I think it was what those were. There was something that if you were playing on like normal, it would auto kill you.
Oh, really?
If you like, because it was just enough damage that if you weren't like a soldier or bionic with full shields up, you would just get obliterated. And you wouldn't even see them in the elements. It's either that or in 2, but there was one little thing that every time you get halfway through the mission and then it would blow up and you'd be like,
that sounds familiar. It's been so long since I've played the first 3 Mass Effects. Like, I don't remember like the gap of playing those before Andromeda for me. But it's hard remembering. Like, I know like the big story beats I remember.
I'm trying to remember Andromeda.
Little details.
Like, I know there was a space pope guy and he was real bad.
Space pope?
Yeah, there was like a church, kind of space church, and it was like their cult and they were burning people. Maybe? And you had to shoot them with a gun in space. We're the Mass Effect experts.
Absolutely.
Here on the Rambles. If you're just joining us, stick around. It'll get better.
Maybe.
So that's the new stuff at Gigabytes. You've got trains and space trains. Oh, do you think they have the little landing vehicle in this, but every time you try to move it, it just gets sideways stuck and then flips over and then flies off in the wrong direction?
That would be kind of fun. That would be a great addition. That did happen quite often.
I
do remember that.
It just has a spring on the bottom, so as soon as you touch it, it just goes blah, 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 and just flies all over the place.
It's on a timer, so it just like launches randomly, like about halfway into the mission.
Every once in a while, yeah. I do remember also Mass Effect 1, and then I promise we'll move on into hot fresh news. Hot fresh news.
Hot fresh news.
Is the thing in Mass Effect 1 where you would over-level so hard by the end of the game if you were like a soldier that you could just run up to the Geth Titans and just punch them to death in the leg. Like,
never tried.
You basically, your stats just, they never capped them really, so you would just get insanely powerful. As a soldier, you would just walk into the entire room with like 40 guys shooting you. You're just like, yep, all right, goodbye, good night, okay, cool, whatever. Yeah, and then you're fine, and your teammates are like, we're here to help. Yeah.
You're around.
Get this game today. Not this one, though, because we're probably going to take it. Hey, are you ready?
Uh-oh. Hot fresh news.
Hot fresh news. Do you want to read some hot fresh news?
We do have some news.
Ryan.
All right.
We've got, do you want to? I think we can fight through like 4 of these because they're things that only I know about.
That's true. You handed me the card, but it's like you know about these things.
So throw to me. We're yes-anding here on the Rambles.
The first thing of news: Joker 2, Filet à Dos. If I pronounced it maybe correctly.
More like Filet à poo-poo.
Yeah, wasn't poo-poo.
It's real bad.
Poo-poo.
I have never seen a movie. That's it. That's the end of the bit. I've never seen a movie that so aggressively hates you for buying a ticket to see it. I'm gonna get into spoilers because there's a thing it does at the end where you can hear the corporate whatever come in and go. You have to make it part of a universe that.
Okay.
So there's one of those things at the end. If you make it through, the singing is all right, but they're just singing like show tunes about how they feel, and I think there's one original song maybe, which is weird when you have Lady Gaga.
I thought it was all going to be original.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh.
No, and musicals can be cool when they kind of open up a little bit of how the character feels in the song, and you get kind of a little reveal. This doesn't do that. They say something like, I love you, Lee Quinn.
Okay.
And then they then sing about that. But it's kind of like, well, you just said that. It also, it makes the character of the Joker, if you liked the first one and you were like, this Arthur Fleck guy, he's a downtrodden guy, and society hates him, and he's the dredges, and he represents the failings of society and the mechanisms of capitalism and stuff like that. And you were like, I don't see myself in this character, but he's interesting. In this one, they were like, no, he's a big old loser. He's just a lame guy who's not very good at stuff, and everyone makes fun of, and he kind of goes along with it. Like the one kid in your high school that people would make fun of, but he was like, yeah, I'm still included. And you're like, you just don't let him do that to you. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, that's a direction, I suppose.
It's a real. Also, here, this is not a spoiler. The movie takes place on 2 sets. Basically, there's a couple of like hallucination dream sets, which are the ones you see in the trailer, where it's like the big staircase, double kick thing, and the big like musical where they have the microphones, like the kind of stage show stuff like that.
Okay.
No, it takes place in Arkham, and then in a courtroom, and the courtroom is about 4 hours worth of this 19-hour movie is what it feels like.
Oh.
And then it ends in a really weird way that doesn't really feel like that's how it was supposed to end in the first place.
It just sounds like a lot of weird.
Yeah,
that's what I'm getting.
It's going to be fun as we learn more about this movie and how it was made. Because I think it cost $200 million, and I think it's made 12 so far. It is a huge financial loss, whereas the first Joker made, I think, $1 billion. It was one of the highest.
It's great.
Yeah, it was a pretty good movie. It was the highest rated R-rated, or highest box office R-rated movie until Deadpool and Wolverine blew everything out of the water for that. But it was okay. Like if you can watch it and be a Batman fan or not a Batman fan, and it had some stuff about it. This movie, I don't think it's for anyone. I don't think it's for.
Nobody should go see this.
I don't think it's for people.
That's rough.
I don't know what it's for because it's boring, and the parts where it's supposed to not be boring, the parts where you would go, oh, they're getting into a cool scene, then they just stop, and it goes back into a boring scene. And there's like 5 scenes, and they just repeat themselves. Anyway, go see The Joker. Best movie ever. Joker 2.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here, but you've probably looked at Rotten Tomatoes and went, this is not good. But if you needed me to tell you, wait for it to become streaming on HBO Max in like day.
I was going to say, yeah, they're going to make it probably pretty quick if it's not doing well.
Yeah. When Madam Web has beat you at the box office.
Oh, is that actually true?
Yeah. I think Borderlands is pretty close, and Borderlands is objectively one of the worst movies I've seen. This is not even fun to make fun of, though. It's just kind of like there. So, yeah, go check it out in theaters, I guess. We're going to get sued by Warner Brothers for...
Probably.
Make a better movie. I don't know.
If or a movie that's... play Batman on channel anymore.
We're going to reenact it. We're going to reenact it in the Batman Miniatures game. We're going to set up one single room, one 8x12 room, and then we're going to do that while we just play a collection of Sony music classics.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's a real experience. Go watch Joker 1. Go watch Mask of the Phantasm. I don't know. Go watch a good Batman piece. The Batman is good. Go watch The Penguin.
Or... you could see another bad movie in Megalopolis.
Which I can't...
I can't say anything about it, but I heard it was pretty bad.
I've watched enough clips to know that they just let Kylo Ren do whatever he wanted. And I've heard that most of the movie was improv. And this movie, I do know this, it took like 30 years to make. Because Francis Ford Coppola kept getting turned down. And he wanted to make this grand movie about how something... and he kept getting turned down. He couldn't get funding. The actors, everybody was rumored to be in it for a long time. And it was one of those things where it's like, oh, it's going to be this character. Oh, well, now it's going to be this actor. It's going to be this. And over that time, I mean, imagine 20-something years of Hollywood. You're going to have a lot of different people trying to be that. And then he makes the movie. And the plot of the movie is, well, in the movie, you see. And I'm going to see if you can pick up on the subtlety of this movie, from the plot. So there's an architect. And he is a miracle worker and a genius, and he's really good at everything he does. But everyone keeps telling him, no, it's not actually good. Just because you made a couple of good things in the past doesn't mean every idea you have is solid gold. And he's like, no, it is solid gold. And then he proves them all wrong because he does nothing wrong the entire movie. He invents a substance that heals you and can also build buildings and can also make magic happen. He's literally perfect. And everybody goes, no, Adam Driver's character, you can't make this building, even though you've made previous buildings that are good. And he goes, I'll show you. And then he does make them, and they're perfect. It's definitely not an ego project.
No.
Imagine having enough money to make an ego project that costs millions and millions of dollars and still sucks.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's what happens. It's a real oddity when you're like, hey, but Transformers 1 is pretty good. Yeah, I think it costs like $100 to make.
Oh, probably.
It's like a kids movie, but it's actually a really fun kids movie. Francis Ford Coppola's giant epic is poopy.
Is poopy.
It's not good.
It's worse to just call it poopy. Yeah. It just feels really rough.
That's it.
To call it poopy.
That's our rating scale.
Yeah.
It's just poopy. Just a little
good, and then something in the middle, and then poopy.
Something in the middle, just poopy. Coffee.
Ah, okay. That'll do it. In more news.
Yeah, tell me some more news.
We also... there's a new trailer for a Gundam card game. I'm assuming it's a new Gundam card game because there's probably been a Gundam card game before.
There has to have been.
Mm-hmm. I would assume so.
Right? There's no way that property has not had a TCG that I can't comprehend at some point.
But there is a new trailer that was out for that. I believe the game is coming out early next year, but there might be a beta in December.
Oh.
So maybe look into that if you're interested in Gundam things.
Yeah, I'm sort of interested in some Gundam things sometimes. I don't know enough about
mechs are cool.
Yeah, I like big mechs. Yeah. I cannot lie.
No. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well, there was also Warhammer Day on Saturday. So lots of new little goodies there. Christmas boxes, some new kill teams like the Ratlings. I know we both like the Ratlings quite a bit.
They're so silly.
Who wouldn't like a little dude making a sandwich off of his power pack?
Yep.
He's shooting his gun. That's awesome.
I love that, like, not only are they up against orcs, which is the most hilariously goofy armies, but the orcs are the serious part of the force.
Yeah.
Like, somehow they have an Imperium versus Orc box, and the orcs are like, no, we're the Grimdark part of this box. Yeah. And everything else is like, nope, this is just, it's little halfling guys, and they're basically hobbits, but they have sniper rifles.
Yep.
And lunch.
And I think they have a dog, too. Don't they have a pug in there?
I didn't even look at that.
I think they have a pug in there. So,
cool.
Little guy.
I'm down for that. What was your favorite Broken Link from Warhammer Day?
Oof. Yeah.
Because that site died in 5 minutes.
I spent multiple times trying to look further into the Imperial Knights box.
Yeah.
The Valor Strike box. I thought that one looked pretty cool. I think the other ones aren't too bad. I will say the Tau box did catch me a little off guard.
It's
having less minis than the Imperial Knights box. So,
and you know when they put on the bottom where they put the miniatures included, they're going to include all the drones.
Oh, of course.
So they can say like includes 12 miniatures, and it's really 3 suits, and then like a couple of drones and like a debris token or something like that.
A debris token.
And like, look, it's a miniature. You put it on a base, it counts as a miniature. James Workshop, we're on to you. Yeah, everything I've heard is that they're all pretty good. I think the Sisters one people say is the weirdest because it just has 2 sister rhinos or whatever, like the basic tanks.
Okay.
Which is weird because you feel like you should get the church tanks with the rocket launcher organs and like all that stuff because that's kind of their tanks, and instead you just get the standard Imperial tanks in there.
That's a little disappointing because the one with the big organ on the back. I don't remember what it's called, but that one is pretty cool.
I like that one.
That would have been nice.
It's my level of dumb science fiction, dark fantasy. It's like playing an organ while rockets shoot out of the pipes.
Wouldn't want to go into a battle with an organ on the back of your tank. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, you can't see it. It's driving forward, so she's not facing anybody. It's a very Mad Max thing. It's like, what did you do? I brought a guitar to the car fight. I'm going to get everybody else amped up. Bard level 20 style.
Of course.
What else was there? There was the Necron box.
So there was Necrons. I do have them over here if we want to double check. So yeah, we do have the Adeptus Sororitas. We have the Necrons. I don't know much about the Necrons. There's a cool guy in the middle here.
I don't either. So, yeah, it's got the shard of somebody.
Oh, Catan.
So I've heard I've heard is if you don't have this guy and you like Necrons, this box is incredible. If you do have the shard of Catan, that is like 50% of the box's cost is that guy. So maybe Kip Asher or sell him as something else, or he makes some cool Celestin Prime in Age of Sigmar, like similar kind of profile and stuff. So do that. If you like Necrons, it's a cool looking Necron box. I like Necrons with swords because that does seem like they hyper technologied into one direction, but then also we're like, but what if we just made a sword?
Yeah. Because, they have the dudes with the big blades, right?
Yeah.
Like the double arm. Yeah. Okay. Those are cool.
Yeah, like in 40K, they're like, what if a gun, we just use a sword instead?
Oh, of course.
And it's just as good, if not better.
It's usually better.
I say as a World Eaters guy, my guns don't do anything. They don't. Why do I even have them? No. Throw them in the bin. Use both hands for punching.
Use both hands for punching. There's also the Dark Angels, Inner Circle Task Force. Got a handful of Terminators in here. Lionel as well.
Yeah.
And then some other guys in a red cloak that I don't know their name. I know they're Dark Angels, but I don't know the specific name of this group of guys.
I've heard this is, if you like Dark Angels and you didn't already purchase all of this stuff, Matt, if you're watching, sorry.
Oops.
I think Matt bought most of this individually, and then they released the Christmas box.
Yep.
That's how it happens. Welcome to Warhammer. Welcome to your first Warhammer experience.
There's a bunch of Terminators in here, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I guess, if you want some Terminators.
And you got Lion the Lion, so he's pretty cool.
Yeah. Dude.
There was one more.
Shield.
What was the one more? Oh, the Knights box.
There was a Knights
box with the 3 people in it, which is like kind of weird.
Oh, sorry, it was 4. And then some drones.
Oh, 4 and some drones. Well, I'll steal. Yeah. And then the Night Box, which we were pretty excited about, because you can build all of the Imperial Knights from the kit. It doesn't just limit you to the one style.
You can do the, what are they called? I don't remember their names, but you could do the melee and the ranged variants. They brought everything into the box, so you're not just stuck to what you see.
Yeah.
In the screenshot, the photo.
It's also kind of cool because if you buy 2 of them and you configure them both the same way, you basically have a 1,900 point army. So if you are like, I want to get into 40K, but I want probably the cheapest, because I think these boxes are usually like $240 to $260. I know they went up a little
for the Christmas boxes. Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, somewhere around there. So you usually end up saving about $50 or so. And if you can use some Gigabytes rewards and stuff to save some more money. If you're part of that, you probably should be. But you can just get 2 of these night boxes and just be like, hey, here's my whole army. It's all these guys. It's a heck of a painting challenge.
Yeah.
A lot of just
big mix.
Open, smooth spaces, too, as well. Learn how to put decals on correctly, or freehand them if you're some sort of monster that's good at that. I hate when
Definitely not me.
I hate when I see somebody painting a portrait of the Emperor, and I'm like, wow, that's a really cool looking portrait. And then they zoom out, and it's on the pauldron of a Space Marine captain, and it's like...
It's not okay.
Yeah, it's not right.
Share some of the talent with the rest of us.
How dare you? How dare you be good at something
that could have
you're
gone to
passionate
other
about.
people.
That could have made my guys not look like kind of okay dry-brushed things. So Warhammer Day. I think that's it.
I think that was it. The Rattlings. There might have been some Age of Sigmar stuff.
There was a couple of Age of Sigmar things. There's a new Chaos Sorcerer Lord, which I think brings this to the 5th or 4th model you can have for that one guy. Same rules for all of them.
Which is awesome.
cool. And most people kind of kit bashed them anyway because it was an older model. So I think if you're leaning that way with your Slaves of Darkness, you have that. The Battle Tome is going to come out soon, and they'll have some cool stuff in there. And we've actually been learning a lot in the Warhammer community about the Stormcast stuff because it's up for pre-order. If it wasn't last Sunday, it's this Sunday. But check online because all the pre-order stuff is on gigabytesonline.com. Once again, I'm not going to actually edit this, but this is where it would be. Can you imagine?
Right here.
Can you imagine?
I think so. I can see
you.
it.
Just replace you with a giant logo for it. So we've been learning a lot about
for pre-orders. It's just me.
It's just you.
Glowing.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Well, I was going to talk to you about all that rad saturation you had, but that's just the point. That's a fun part of working at Bridge and Gigabytes. It's free radiation.
Yeah.
Boy. What was I saying? Birds with hats. The Stormcast now have birds with hats on, and I'm excited. And I think whenever that episode comes in, it may be next week. It might just be me talking about Stormcast to you guys at home. We're going to have a Stormcast day. They can't stop me. We can't stop. Even 4 cameras not working and a system update this morning that made the cameras not work with the computer again. This show is cursed.
Fun troubleshooting session.
Yeah,
for sure.
Good times. What you don't see is behind the camera is a mess of AdMech wires running into several computers to make this thing happen. That's the dedication we have for you, the viewers at home.
Conscripted the warrior to help hold the wires up as well.
We have to, We have to have somebody, our tech support guy. We'll show it behind the scenes of him working on stuff. That's the dedication we have to bringing you a medium to subpar show in the mornings. That's what we're here for. Was there any more hot, fresh news?
I think that was it on the hot, fresh news. Or, there was the Hellboy movie as well.
Yeah, that came out.
So
I forgot that was
another
coming
movie.
out. I saw a trailer for it on YouTube, and I thought it was a fan film because it's very low budget, which could work. It could work for like a spooky low budget Hellboy, but I haven't seen it, so I can't. I'm going to go watch it, and we'll come back next week.
I would like to watch
talk
it,
about it.
So we can talk about it more.
I do like the Hellboy movies. I think they're all pretty good in their own ways.
Enjoyed them.
Yeah, I've always liked them. I like that after every one, the creator was like, well, they didn't really do anything like the way I would have done it. And then it kind of turns into a cult classic, and then he's like, well, I probably would have changed everything about it. And it's like, well, you keep letting them make them, though, so what do you want here?
Step in, or, do something.
Yeah, or be like, no, stop it. But like, you had the Del Toro ones, and you had the middle one with the guy from Stranger Things, whose name I can't remember right now.
David Harbour?
David Harbour. And I thought that was a pretty good, if not incredibly brutal take on it. Like
there was
real violence in that
rough
one.
Scenes in there.
Yeah, especially compared to the other ones, which were relatively bloodless. Even in their most vicious parts, they were still kind of like that early 2000s violence. And this was definitely, that one was like the boys level violence. We were they just stabbed him like 3 times.
How many CG fatalities can we throw in here?
Quite a bit. So I hope this one is like, I've heard it's very more like laid down, kind of spooky.
Okay.
So we'll see. It's just been time for spooky season.
It is spooky season.
Yeah. You didn't mention the last hot, fresh news thing.
Hot, fresh news. Did I not?
Yeah, there's one more.
Oh, that's right.
There's one more that I was really excited about.
Oh, that's right.
It's purposely didn't want to talk about it.
No, that's not it. But no, so we do have a new Diablo DLC, right?
Yes.
It's green.
It's
green. I forget what it was named, but it was like a huntsman guy.
Hearts of Darkness?
There's an H in there somewhere.
Hold on.
Now you forgot.
Apocalypse Now? I forgot.
Apocalypse Now.
I forgot because it takes place in the jungle.
Love the smell of Diablo.
Yeah.
In the morning.
I love it. Here's your check mark. Are you ready? Do you like Diablo? Yes or no? If so, the expansion is worth it. If not, it's exactly just more Diablo. So there you go. I've been playing it a lot. I like it. It fixes a lot. If you're a Diablo person, it fixes a lot of the loot stuff. It makes character progression easier. It makes it not to level 100. Now you're level 60, so every level matters a little more. It does a lot of good stuff for the system, but I also don't think they really care about drawing in new players with it, because I kind of think it's like, if you like this, here it is. If not, it's weird because the story picks up after the story of the main game. So if you played like I did, you played the main game 3 years ago, and then you've always just been doing skipped campaign.
Has it been out that long?
It's been out for
Diablo
a while.
4?
Yeah.
Has it been out that long?
It's been out for a couple of years, yeah.
Wow.
I know.
I thought it's been like a year and a half at most.
No.
Wow. Okay.
Oh. Remember, every year since 2020 is actually 3 years combined.
I think so. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
So.
But if you like Diablo, go buy it. You can't get it at Gigabytes.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately not. We don't have video games. They never will. But it's really cool, and you should play it. And tell us in the comments what you think of the new class, because I think it's solidly whelming. It's clear that
solidly well made.
It's clear that they didn't want to make it super duper good right out of the gate, so that everyone that has the expansion is just moiterous. But also, every single person has this expansion that plays Diablo. So there is nothing but the spirit guy as a character right now. Like wherever you go, everyone is exactly the same. So it's kind of funny. It's like, oh, this is a unique quest. Here's 40 of the same guy hanging out.
Just runs off, same effects and everything.
Yeah, it's also weird because the story beats pick up as if that's the character that beat the previous game. So they refer to you from things that happen, and a lot of the characters know you, but it's really, like, the cutscenes are all really well voice acted per character now as well, so it's pretty interesting, but it is weird because they're like, you remember when you had to stop Mephisto from doing the thing, and you're like, I'm level 3. No, that wasn't me. That was some other guy. I don't know what you're talking about.
It'd be kind of funny if you did just see like a paladin like running around in that area with like all the other like new guys, something like that.
The one person who didn't buy the expansion who's just like, yeah, I'm in here.
I'm here.
Yeah, or bought the expansion, just didn't want to make a new character of the new class, which is honestly what I'm probably going to do and go back and until they fix a bunch of the stuff on it. But you can turn into a giant, you can summon a giant monkey. And
that's cool.
Hits stuff.
Boom.
So that's pretty neat. Is that all for hot, fresh news?
I believe so. I think so. I think that's all our hot, fresh news.
Oh, right. This news is now cold and tepid, which means it's time for a quick break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to have a little interview with David about him going to Essen and seeing all the cool board games in Germany.
Cool.
So
Germany's cool.
Yeah. So that means I have to tell you to go away. Oh. I'm just kidding. I mean, I am going to tell him to go away, but we'll be right back. And this has been Ryan. Ryan just broke the chair.
Yep, didn't break the chair. The chair is not broken.
All right.
I'm not holding on.
Oh, no. The chair's falling apart. We'll be back after this break.
All right.
The old world is gone, and there are none who can remember it. Everything that was has been consumed by the ever-rustling wild sea. The roar of saw blades rips through the air as they propel you and your crew on a ship of salvaged steel and leviathan bone. You're sailing across an ocean of infinite tree branches, being marauded by spider people wielding amber blades. They plan on stealing your cargo that you want to sell at port and then feed your bodies to their young. The ship's master of arms, who happens to be a 7-foot-tall cactus person, loads the cannons with caustic spores, while your engineer, a moth woman, overclocks the engines, which is powered by bees. The Wild Sea is a TTRPG where the weird and uncanny meet the high swashbuckling of the open sea, set in an arboreal post-apocalypse. Check out the game today at gigabytesonline.com.
All right, and we're back. David, how was your trip to Germany?
It was great.
Well, obviously, we're going to have the rest of that interview later, so be sure to tune in next week.